Okay guys, what I have here is two Remington 1187 special purpose 12 gauge shotguns. Now these are not my shotguns. These are two very good friends of mine. This one is Keith's and this one is his dad's. And he told me to pay extra special attention to this one since this is his. So I'm going to disassemble these and I'm going to be cleaning them. I'm going to show you some of the process on film, but not everything, because if I did, this film would be way too long. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a look at it first. Okay. They're going to be using these for hunting this season. And this one has a Pro Point Plus red dot. You know, I was messing around with this and I actually like this red dot. It's a pretty clean, crisp looking red dot for the price that something like this would cost. You know, versus something, you know, that's $500–600. But for the price that this is at, I think it's very, very adequate. The Tasco AccuDot is on this one. I have not messed with that one yet. But I think this one works really well, and I'd have no problem using this on this shotgun. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start disassembly on this one here. And I'll go ahead and take the barrel nut off of the end. You will see these do have the plugs in them. Here's the plug. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take the forearm off. And then I can go ahead and bring this barrel off. A little bit sticky on there. There we go. Now, these are a using man's shotgun. They use these a lot in hunting and different things, and we're definitely due for a cleaning and good, thorough lubrication on these shotguns, and that's what they're going to get today. Okay, now you have your piston rings on here, on the mag tube, and these are looking pretty worn as well. You can pick these parts up from Brownells. It doesn't cost very much, and they just drop right on. So I might be recommending that. You want to pay attention to how these rings are, because you want to put these back on the same way so that they make the proper seal. Now this here, this rubber O-ring, well, this is very, very damaged as well. I imagine it'll still work for this time, but there's a lot of wear I'm seeing on this O-ring. You can pick up like a 10-pack of these O-rings for probably a couple dollars, but this is seen its prime, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm hoping this thing don't break on me when I'm taking it over the threads. But either case, this is very brittle and very dried out, and I would recommend that this be the last season that that one be used on this shotgun. So I'm going to pull these two rings off right here. Set those there, how they would go back in. These will also get a thorough cleaning, and I will inspect them as well. You always want your flat side to go against the receiver. Otherwise your shotgun may not cycle right. Then we're going to go ahead and pull the bolt forward, and there's a detent in there holding in the charging handle, and it just pulls right out from the detent. Okay, then what you do is you flip her over like this, and down in here on the left side there's a little lever in there. You can't miss it. I'm going to push that lever outward, then I can remove the bolt and the carrier. As you see, it fell out on the table, and this is long overdue. Needs a good thorough cleaning. So parts like this, I clean this up. This will be good as new. Just the little things like the O-ring and this, these piston rings, those might have to be replaced. Everything else is going to be just fine. There's also a little diagram here that shows you how to put the rings back on. Now, that's as far as I'm going to go. You can very easily punch out 2 pins down here and take your trigger group out and work on all that inside there. But I'm going to bring this gun back to life here in a couple minutes. I got to go get some cleaning supplies, and I'll turn the camera back on and off as I go through this process, and we'll see what kind of difference I can make on these 1187 special purposes. I'll be back in a moment. Alright guys, I'm going to give you an example of some of the things I'm going to be using to clean this. Some very important things that I need right now dealing with cleaning this gun. I'm going to use some of this Hops Elite. This is a very low odor product, and I tend to have a very low tolerance for some of these things that smell a lot like this hops. This is very good though. I also got some ballistol, and I have some of the bore mops here. I'll just show you the box so you can see. I'm going to take some of those mops down the barrel, and then another very important thing for this is going to be in this box, which is this brush. You can use an old toothbrush, it doesn't matter. That's going to come in very good for scrubbing the bolt right here. I'm going to be able to get this thing like new again here. Like I said, my only concern is the rings and this rubber O-ring. This rubber O-ring, believe it or not, this thing can affect your whole shotgun. If it doesn't make the proper seal, there's a chance your gun will not function right. It's hard to believe that just this little piece of rubber could do so much, but it can. You're definitely going to need a bunch of rags for doing this, something like this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start on this magazine tube. Coat that with some ballistol. See how much I can get off this. This actually had so much stuff caked on it up around here where the ring was, or where the rubber O-ring was, that these rings, I had a hard time getting them off, and that's pretty, that's a lot of material caked on there to do that to those rings, because they just slide on and off. As you can see already, the magazine tube is starting to come back to life, and I'm going to have to go ahead and really scrub with that brush and work up here on this caked on gunk right up here, and get that back in order. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a second, and we'll see what I can do, and I'll let you see the progress that I'm making. Guys, you've seen the before, and here comes the after. Keith, this is for you, my friend. Look at that, like a shiny new dime. I'm going to explain to you guys what all I did to bring that tube back to life like that. This is going to make the gun run so much better, and I'm going to explain why here in a second. Now, first what I did, as you've seen, it had just gunk caked all over it, just baked on. Pretty much baked on, because, you know, things in there get hot gases. I took a cleaner and I wiped over and got as much off as I could, which really didn't do a whole lot. Then I went over the whole tube by hand with a brass 45 caliber brush, doesn't matter what caliber it is, that would be used on a pistol, and I had to take this over the whole tube. This was removing flakes and gunk a little bit at a time over the whole tube. Once I got that down to a manageable level, I went back with cleaner and got all the debris off. Then, for the finale, I took this Flitz polish and went over this. And this thing is going to be really smooth now. And you can see how nice that turned out. Brought it right back to life. I'm really, really happy with that. Very happy with how that turned out right there. Okay, next I'm going to give you another before and after on another little part here that's important. And that is the bolt itself. Now, you can see here, guys, I don't know how bright the light's going to be up here. Get my light out. I'm going to try to show you guys what this looks like before I start to go at it. It's pretty much caked and coated too. And I'm going to turn off the camera, clean and scrub that bolt, and I'll turn the camera back on, let's see what it looks like after I get done with it. Okay, here's the after on that bolt. I scrubbed everything with the brush, cleaned everything, got all the gunk off the interior, off of this, and then what I did was I coated the outside with a layer of ballistol and wiped off the excess, and now it has that Teflon coating feel, but it won't easily attract dirt and particles with that ballistol, but it still has that slick Teflon coating feel to it. So I'm real happy with the way that came out. Let's see here. Whew. This is going to be a bear here. This is going to be a fun part to do. Try to give you guys a shot down this barrel. Let me use my light. And we are going to bring this back to life as well. Okay, give me a second there, guys. To try to... Okay, there's a shot down the barrel. And as you can see, it has some caked on particles in there and different things. And here's the top of the barrel. And the outside, I don't know if I don't have any steel or anything. There is a little bit of pitting, which is very common with these. My Remington shotgun gets this. There's a little bit of pitting around it. Like I said, nothing wrong with that. These guys use these guns. These are tools that they hunt with. So there's nothing wrong with that, guys. These aren't a collectible item that you stick away in a safe and pass down to your grandchildren. This gun is made to be used. It's made to be out in the woods. You bang the stock around, oh well, they still run. They still work. So I'm going to go through that even down in here, even down in this cuff right here. There's a lot of discoloration in there, and I'm just going to clean the whole thing. Let me show you the top up here. See all this? See all the stuff right there that's caked on the top? The barrel was sticking inside the receiver when I tried to pull it out. So let me go ahead and tackle that barrel and see what I can get on that barrel, and I'll get back with you guys and we'll see how it turns out. Okie dokie. Here's the barrel, and I was pretty amazed, guys. I was a little worried when I started really looking on the inside of this barrel. I didn't know if I was going to bring it back to life, but sometimes miracles do happen. See if I can get you a shot up in there. Just like glass. No problems. I'll tell you how I did that here in a minute. And at the tip, no more white discoloration. All that white discoloration at the top and the inside of the top barrel is gone. Coated the entire outside of the barrel with ballistol, so it has that Teflon-like finish, and it will prevent any pitting. Okay, guys, what I did was I started off with just a cleaner and ran the bore mop through this a few times, and it got out a lot of black. Black just came pouring out, but I still seen some things that worried me in this barrel. Then I took this was the first one I used, the mop. Okay. Then I started hitting it with this 12 gauge brass brush. This is what really saved me on this barrel. After about 20 passes with this, I could see the barrel coming back to life. took the mop through some more cleaner in it. One more pass of about, say, probably 20 more strokes with this, and the barrel looked like glass. So I'll tell you what, guys, invest in a shotgun cleaning kit. If you don't have one and you're going to use shotgun, it'll be well worth your money in the long run. Okay, so we got the barrel good to go, the mag tube, the bolt. Now I'm going to work on this carrier. I'll show you a before and after on this carrier. And see how this cleans up. And by the way, Keith, I think your dad's will be good for another season. Maybe I'll just clean yours. I'm kidding. I'll get to that one after I do this one, and I'm not going to video on this second one. Just be redundant. They're the same model shotgun. But I'm going to get onto this carrier right now, and when I'm finished with it, I will also coat it with the ballistol right here. Back in a sec, guys. Boom. Okay, here's the carrier. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Like I said, coated it with a little bit of ballistol. Okay, now I'm going to go over any little part that I might have missed. I actually even did the charging handle. Got that all clean and protected. This is also protected from rust and pitting. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check everything over. I'm going to reassemble the gun off camera. I'm going to go over the wood stock a little bit. I'm going to go over the receiver. And I'll show you guys it after I put it all back together. I'll lay it out on the table and we'll take a final look at it. Back with you in a sec. Okay, Keith. This shotgun is golden. Everything turned out great, and I'm really happy with the way everything came out. Another thing I wanted to tell you, I even took and treated this nut here, where it gets a lot of use and handling and people touch it a lot, so that it would not rust or pit as well. And I went over the wood with something that's good to put on the wood and wipe off. Now the wood's dry, of course. It leaves no oily residue or anything like that. This wood feels like it just came from the factory. So I think you're ready to go, my friend. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Really cleaned up nice for me. Like I said, this is your last season on that rubber O-ring for sure, and I would probably replace those 2 piston rings in there as well. The kit is at Brownells, and of course I'll talk to you about that later, but I don't think it costs very much money to just get the rings and that rubber seal, and I'll replace everything for you at the same time, and you'll be good to go for, who knows, 10 years. There you go. I'm going to get to work on your dad's now, and do the same thing to it as I did to this one. It's pretty fun. I had a good time doing it. So, all right, my friend, I'll see you soon, and I'll have these back to you probably by the time you see this video. Is that right, Jade? Jade's my partner. She helps me when I clean guns and stuff. She watches and makes sure I don't forget anything. She's getting a little bit tired because this one took me a while. But she's still watching me. Ain't that right, girl? Ain't that right, girl? Wave to all the people, JD. Hi. Hello. She's sweet. Alright, guys. Until next time, I have a video coming for you soon. I'm still getting together all of my thoughts and things on the Glock New York trigger. I'm going to install that into a gun. I'm going to explain to you why that was made, what it's used for, and I'm going to show you how to put it into a gun, and I'm going to show you actually how it works once it's in the gun as well. I'm H4T, and I am